our easiest and quickest route to a better living standard for all Nigerians in the short term is raising oil production, oil exports, oil sales, bringing in foreign exchange. Non-oil exports are also key, and we have to focus on them. And what I will say about the ease of doing business that we need to improve as far as non-oil exports are concerned will come as part of the initiative for trade facilitation, the implementation of the national single window and the trade improvements in trade facilitation that it will bring will assist in improving non-oil exports, lowering the cost, making it more efficient, and of course, improving the time scale at which that can be done. Honorable asked me, I think, but he didn't wait to answer to hear the question, to hear the answer to his question. He said, "Have we turned the corner?" So let me just simply put it like this: we were going in a direction that was totally unsustainable. The fiscal deficit was rising and rising. Let me give you a metric, a figure that shows we have turned. The budget deficit last year was 6.11% of GDP. The projection for this year is 3.9%. I think anybody would say that is turning the corner. So please help me to pass on that response to the Honorable. When we talk about local government and we talk about the autonomy of local governments, or we talk about the performance of local governments, we are in a federation. Mr. President believes in federalism. Of course, he believes in democracy. He believes in federalism. He believes in fiscal federalism. And so, therefore, what belongs under the constitution to the states goes to the states. What belongs to the local governments goes to the local governments. However, there is need. It is one country, it's one economy, and there is need for coordination. There is need for collaboration and cooperation. We have the National Economic Council under the Vice President, where the states, together with the federal authorities, come together to discuss matters of common economic interest. And likewise, there is a relationship under the Constitution between the states and the local governments. And while we are trying to improve things, we must respect those constitutional divisions. Talking about debt crisis and the issue of strict fiscal discipline and financial management, I will give you another figure. Last year, debt borrowing was 8.3 trillion, just over 8 trillion. This year is projected to be under 8 trillion. When you factor in inflation, you can see that that is a real drop. And it is based on the fact that revenue, as was said earlier, and was alluded to, there is a substantial increase in domestic resource mobilization, in taking into government's coffers what should be collected both from the private sector and from other arms of the government. Government earns revenue through its ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as through federal government-owned enterprises, partially funded, fully funded, or semi-funded by the federal budget. The Honorable from Oyo, I think I've answered, Honorable Alao Akala, talked about,
Honorable Minister, 2 minutes more.
Talked about full autonomy, and I think I've dealt with that. Local production, in order to raise local production, domestic production and contribution to GDP. Of course, we have talked a lot about stabilizing the economy, bringing down inflation, being able to bring down interest rates, stabilizing exchange rate. But on top of that, we must also, in order to have industrialization, agro-industrial processing, we need energy. We need gas from the oil and gas sector, and we need power. We need electricity. And one way out that this era of green economy has given us is that solar power is something that can reach the small, the micro businesses, the small scale businesses,